Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. How is everyone doing? Sterling here with the news in there. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. We have looks like OPEC cuts. The PCE numbers came out. We'll go over those in a second, but if you want to read ahead, Sterling's already got them in. What else do we have going on here? Besides, we don't need to talk about Musk telling people to F off. Daly's comment, she was sounding quite hawkish this morning. She's got the hawkish roll this morning. I think they go around and assign this. You got to sound, things are getting a little overdone. You got to sound a little more hawkish. So she's, even though I don't really believe her being really overly hawkish, she's sounding a little more hawkish. Good morning, Royal Palms. Might be slightly less prepared. My dog Moses finally passed away yesterday. So it was a rough day yesterday, and I'm still running a little behind with everything. So please forgive me. I'll go over things if I miss something. Again, that's why I'm letting you know. Haven't been fully 100% focused, but didn't want to skip the live stream this morning. There's a potential sloppy topping pattern in the Nasdaq and in the Qs, so that's where we sit. Good morning, Heinrich. All right, we had continuous jobless claims, sort of a big jump here. Continuing jobless claims, big jump. Forecast 1872 coming in 1927, up over 1841. Core PCE month over month coming in at 0.2. Roughly in line with forecast. The year over year 3.5 coming in at forecast. Initial jobless claims coming in slightly better than forecast, but higher than last. Walter, when did Walter pass? 2018. And then Moses passed yesterday. Charlotte passed in 2018. So Moses has joined Walter and Charlotte in doggy heaven. Thank you, Royal Palms. So that's where we sit. Moses was wonderful, just one of the sweetest dogs I've ever known. Loved. This is a dog that would, if another dog we had or anything we were taking care of, if that dog was hungry, he would literally walk away from his bowl, let that dog finish it, and if there was food left, Moses would come back. He would let any dog that needed anything. He was just incredibly sweet Rottweiler. One of the sweetest Rottweilers I've ever met. So, he loved everybody. All right, sorry for the sidetrack. PCE coming in year over year at 3%. The PCE month over month coming in slightly better at 0 versus 0.1. Personal income coming in at 0.2. Personal spending coming in at 0.2. So that in line. So that's where that's at. We have daily speaking now. What else did you? Oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you. They already are. They're the other four are like, where's Moses? Where's Moses now? But it was he couldn't. He was done. He completely stopped eating and he was just done. Thank you, Alan. I'm sorry to get sidetracked. I just wanted people to know that, if that's why, because I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I'm actually surprised he made it this long, but he did not want to give up yet. Let's see here. So that's why I'm a little scattered again this morning. We got mixed, although it's starting to turn down a little. We've started to have a little pullback after Mary Daly's comments. Amazon's looks like the biggest mega cap dropping. Where is this? What do we have? Oh, Dollar Tree is still going down. CRM Salesforce was a beat yesterday. You also had Snowflake was a beat. Both those are gapping up. Energy was already rallying this morning. We'll go over some stuff with that. And but now we've had the potential OPEC cuts on the table for next year. In the groups, energy technology leading it higher. Let me just refresh this. For some reason, it's not refreshing properly. I got to figure that out. There we go. Still energy and technology still leading higher. Only thing that's negative is utilities this morning. Fed watch tool, pause, and a cut in May. So that's where they sit. Pause and a cut in May. Fear and greed still solidly in greed mode. As I mentioned, Snowflake and Salesforce were both a beat and gapping up this morning. Kroger was a beat, but looking like it was going to gap down this morning last time I looked. After the close, we got Dell. I mean, there's just not much for the rest of the week. So, I mean, if you're in one of these stocks, you need to know when the earnings are, but not much. I mean, earnings season is really wound down. All right, so S&P spike. We had a volatility yesterday, some significant volatility yesterday. We don't have a double top here. The key area I'm watching is this 1546, 1545. If we start breaking down below there, we're into an advanced clear path move, but it's got a key target right around 4515. So 4500 to 4515 is one of my targets on any breakdown. And then it would be about 4475. Still, daily cycles are at the bottom, and we have still a sideways correction. Weekly cycles at the top. So we're at a major weekly cycle top area, but no roll over yet, and we're getting the daily cycle bottoms. The only key thing I'm really keeping an eye on, let me get to the targets to the upside though. If let me get to here. If we break above this 45.75 again, I'll be watching the 45.97 to 4600, then 46.01. Remember the gap left behind. Above 46.01 is roughly 46.16. The NASDAQ, this is the thing I'm keeping an eye on right here. Right here. It's on the 4 hour, it's not as well formed because of all this back and forth, but it can be traded, but it needs to follow through with a daily close. So intraday, I'm going to be focusing on the 15,938.75 if we do break down with a follow through daily close. If we got the follow through daily close, the targets would be, what are the targets? 15,821, 15,762, and a major target to the bottom of the daily rotation zone, and 15,708. Remember, slightly lower probability because it's against the rotation zone, so it doesn't have to get to all the targets, especially. But that's the only real topping pattern we have. To the upside again, we break above 16,115, 16,114 area. Then we're looking to back to 16,200 to 16,232. And then above there, 16,300. Good morning, Legion Reaver. We could, if we have time, we'll look at Alta. The Dow still climbing. It's like a rotation into the Dow now. Well, the S&P and NASDAQ are moving sideways. We've got more of a rotation in the Dow. We had a spike rotation in the NASDAQ yesterday. Closing in with the Dow, 35,807 is major resistance. Not only is it a topping area back from July, it is the 87.5 harmonic. And the Dow's getting insanely overbought on the daily, and daily cycles in the Dow are at the top and weeklies are at the top. So keep an eye, especially if you've been trading the Dow from a trailing thing, but there's no key topping pattern in the Dow just yet. There's not even a great breakdown level. The key area I'll be paying attention to on any pullback is 35,575 area. Then if it starts breaking down to there, I watch for about 35,425 is the next major pullback. The Russell, you had the spike up and reversal yesterday, still cannot sustain anything above the 62.5. Trying to climb again today. That's still the target area, about this 1830. And then yesterday's highs, 1834.5. Stuff's trying to rotate in the Russell. I don't know why, based off where everything's headed with still looking like the recession is coming. But, that's just the way the markets work. So you got to trade what they give you. This 200 is major overhead resistance and still the key support. I'm still using the harmonics about 1796 and then about 1788. VIX still in the doldrums of extremely low. Sell vol, buy stocks. 1430 is the key level if we get above there. What confirms the double top? So confirms is a trade through the higher low. So the confirmation that it's in place. So if we trade through this low on the NASDAQ, the low of 15,938.75, this one right here, it's confirmed. It's not officially triggered until you close below there because you can get the fake out moves. So the trigger is officially the closing on the time frame the setup is. And remember, the higher time frames are more important. So this was not real nice in the 4 hour, but it's nice. So I need a daily close. But the confirmation would be even if you trade below this by, one tick, it's confirmed, which means none of the levels are going to change. Let's just keep going. The DAX still climbing up to the next 16,339. Major support back at 16,075. That's the two key levels I'm keeping an eye on. The notes. Trying to pull back a bit, maybe with, let's see, with, with, those were the PCE numbers, and then a little, the daily's comments got a little reversal back up. So, right now, where are we sitting? We could be getting at least from this pausing bar. I just want to see what the harmonics were. If we poke up what's 110.08, just remember that level if you're trading the notes futures. But I'm watching this is getting daily cycles at the top and coming out of overbought. So I'm now watching the key support coming in about 109.08. But no significant topping pattern there yet. The yields trying to bounce here. This is too flat. There's not enough rotation and it's a lopsided thing. So it's really, if it starts closing above about 432, the targets would be to the breakdown zone. Would not use double targets. It would be about 438. But you see, it's still not been able to sustain a move against the rotation zone yet. That's the only thing I'm keeping an eye on there. The 10-2s still continuing their steepening again. Remember, we're focused once they cross the zero. Talked about that for a very long time. The dollar, yesterday's high, percent B area. Today broke above that, watching for that follow-through close. We're already hitting the one side of the rotation zone, but we're quite stretched out from the 20, and I'll talk about that when we go over to percent B rules. So would not be surprised to see some kind of little pullback with cycles getting to the top, but I'm watching for a more of a sustained move in the dollar or a better bottoming formation forming. But it needs to follow through and the close above yesterday's high. Crude, see the little spike up. It's still going to be watching the 846 level on a closing basis. So right now, back to that, this double bottom, this did not get down to 75 level again, so it did not invalidate it. Okay, did not turn it into a triple. We came up, we spiked above here, so we've confirmed it. But let's say we sell off, and let's say we close at 770, it would not be triggered. So it needs a trigger with now the close above 78.46. First target 80.79. Natty gas, not much going on there. We take a look at this. Gold, really paying attention to this 2050 area. We start breaking below that. I'm watching for the gap fill. Back to Tuesday's close. But right now we're at cycle daily tops. We're way overbought. And we're getting back to weekly cycle tops. And we're against this major resistance. Remember, long term, I'm still looking for increased price action. Short term, I'm looking for a pause/pullback. Where else do we sit? Yen, little bounce here. This could be a percent B buy against the rotation zone on the yen. It need to close above yesterday's high. That's the only thing I'm really focusing on there. With waning momentum to the downside, euro pulling back in the rotation zone. The key support coming in slightly higher than this right now, right about 108.90. Going to see how it reacts there if the pullback continues. Going to be watching also, this could turn into a head and shoulders pattern, coming down, bouncing, and then moving back lower. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention, especially if the dollar keeps its bullish bias. in the short term. Pound, no close above the 62.5. Going to be watching back at a 125.90 to 126 for support. The spiders, by the way, if you see this, this is a little key thing that I watch for. Right now, we're looking to gap up from yesterday, 455.44. The key area in the spiders, this is when I will look at yesterday's open, 457.15, and then the high. And both those, besides using some shorter term price action to refine it, but that's the key, two key targets I watch when you have this pattern. With a reversal candle, eking out a new high, reversal candle, and then we gap up the next day. There's generally the major resistance if it does rally between the yesterday's open and high. So the first area I will focus on is yesterday's open. We break down, it would be the gap fill, 454.61 and then 453. Your major is 450.36. Mega Chad thinks 2024, I would not disagree if we, depending on when the recession is officially started, at times I would be focusing more on small caps the second half of next year. Thank you. I'll see if I can get to that. The Qs. We also have the potential double top in the Qs. Would need the close below the low of 388.05. Right now, same thing as I talked about with the spiders. The Q's gapping up a little. So if we roll over, 389.81 is the key thing. And then with the low being so close, 389.46 would be my next target. And then I'd be watching the low from Tuesday. You get the close below the low from Tuesday, triggers the pullback pattern. Other than that, on any rally, first major target for me would be 392.69. Then it would be the high of 394.14. Above there, there's not a lot to do yet until you get to the major cluster of 399. You wanted me to take a look at XOM, this a good weekly. The week, what were you saying? The daily, weekly, XOP, sorry. XOP, misread that. So, yeah, this is confirmed for the double top, okay, but not triggered. You see how it traded below into this two times, but never followed through with a close. That was, see, some people like to front run the pack or say, okay, I'm going to trade the breakdown. But if you don't get any follow through close or you immediately get a snap back, I can't hold, if you're trying to short this, I could not hold a short position. Now, if one of these breaks, you really break it and retest it intraday, and then it rolls over again, I find that's a better way to try to front run. Let's look at Alta real quick, and then I'll get to the other stuff. Alta, which is not a stock I regularly watch. Is there any great setup going into earnings? No. No. It's trading against very key resistance areas. So unless they have blowout earnings, I'd expect possibly a drop lower with cycles at the top and overbought. But there's no fantastic setup, especially with a what is that, a six-day run with a gap up today going into earnings. Needs to have major earnings to do anything. Tesla, we got what? The Cybertruck. The Mr. Cybertruck. By the way, this is the daily double, which never confirmed or triggered, is off the table. It's the triple. You got the Cybertruck reveal. Key level still 257.31. Major support 232.02. Nvidia, nothing. Gonna see if it cannot break. If it breaks below this rotation zone again, we have a pretty quick advanced clear path down. So that's going to be interesting to see there. What else? Oh, please go over XOM. Okay. XOM, I was watching for the double that's now turned into the triple. The key thing I'm watching on the upside with the XOM is the 105.50 area. Okay, we're trading at very major support area for XOM. If Exxon breaks below 100, it's not good. It means now this has been trading lower based off of the oil trading lower off the recession, but it does look like from the EIA numbers they did a little of the SPR crude refill, so we could be getting a floor in oil. Now with the OPEC, if they actually keep stressing potential cuts, we'll have to see. But that's the key level I'm watching is 105.58. And then, at least if it does break above there, would be a stop reduction to tighten up right around this 108 level. It needs to really sustain above 108 to start getting a move on to the upside. Now, weekly cycles are at the bottom. We are very close to oversold on a weekly basis. And daily, it's getting to a daily cycle, but it does not have anything strong yet. I do not trade penny stocks. I do not trade penny stocks. I think it's a fool's game, and it's people trying to chase the quick pop. I think that's about it today. So back to the S&P. Let's just take a look at the shorter term price action. The little reversal after the PCE and daily comments. So going into the open, I'm paying attention again. This 465 area, we start breaking below there. We will watch for testing of the afternoon and afternoon lows. 458 to 460. If we sustain this level, the first couple key areas, it goes into this little clear path. Let me take a look at the 5-minute real quick. Actually, I'll be keeping an eye right at 445, 69, 75 to see if we get a small little short-term close above there, because that would be a very mini double. With that, I shall talk to everyone later. Have a fantastic trading day. Bye for now.